Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure to take you on a race, on a journey of automation. When we talk about automation in warehouses and distribution centers, I will show you what is already here in the market, what we've already realized with our partners across the globe, but I also take you on a journey a bit into the future to inspire you of what kind of technology potential will be available right in the future. My name is Roland Martin. I'm the global market leader for e-commerce and retail for a company called Swisslog. Swisslog is an automation provider when it comes up to warehouses and distribution center to facilitate the business in logistics within the warehouse. We belong to a company called KUKA. KUKA is one of the largest robot manufacturers in the world. Before we get started here, I would like to activate your brain cells as well. So my question to you is, what do you believe is the global e-commerce share in total of the retail globally? Please take a number. Is there anyone that'd like to take a guess? Is it rather 2%, 20, 30% globally? 5%. Okay, thank you. So if we look at that globally, e-commerce is definitely a bit higher, I would say, but nevertheless, I think you're making a really good point. We all talk about the death of retailers. The retailers and bricks and mortar is still here and very, very important. It's going to be like that in the future too. However, we see it's still at a low number, but it's growing strongly. Now, if we ask ourselves, where is the Middle East in total, we'll see actually in 2017, it's only about 2%, but again, it's growing like 20% plus every year due to the fact that we have a large population in the Middle East, high urbanization rates, and there's quite a lot of people that already buy online. However, if we then compare that with other markets like the US or China, the Middle East is still in the second wave, as well as Switzerland, where I'm from. Why is it like that? I think also in Switzerland we see the competition is only growing right now. Amazon is fully entering the market, so we have a lot of consolidation going on. So there is good faith in the market here in the Middle East for e-commerce to flourish, but all this brings in some challenges as well in logistics. If we look at some of the mega trends, and I think this is very key for us also Swisslog, we are engaging with our customers on a daily basis and asking themselves, what do you foresee in the future? And what are the trends? And that's going to impact logistics and, of course, warehousing automation. Adidas, for instance, in Switzerland, they have taken back the operations from China for some of the shoes and fully produce them now in Germany. They 3D print the sole. The whole shoe is individualized according to what you want. So that's obviously also having a huge impact on automation and how we're going to use it in the future. Labor unions, specifically also in Germany, they don't want to do the heavy workload anymore. There's regulation forcing them not to lift up to a certain number of kilograms. So automation is obviously helping there and jumping in. Amazon, again in Germany, an example, they're using now an old shopping mall where retailers went bankrupt in the middle of Berlin to use it for fresh deliveries. They're now promising to deliver online groceries within 30 minutes to 1 hour because they are closer to the end customer. And of course, if you're in an old shopping mall, you have some preconditions of the building, so you need to have some flexible automation that you can bring in. And then we look at China. China is everywhere. JD.com, Alibaba, now entering as well Europe on a larger scale. The global shopping festival, Double 11, huge peaks in the sales, what they do within a very short time. So now we are asked on how do we put automation? Can we, meet it up to the scale of these peaks, of the seasonal peaks, or are we going to basically have automation that's going to help you to bring your average orders out? So these are the questions we discuss with our customers. And then, of course, as an e-commerce company, you want to add on more products. So your customer, when he shops online, he can not only buy electronics, he can buy fashion, he can buy groceries, etc. But with that, there's some compromises on the automation or on logistics as such. And then the logistics manager is not going to be happy if the sales guy is going to offer everything on the platform. He needs to be the one that's capable of delivering on time. And then another question into the round. What do you think are the biggest cost factors in a warehouse if we look at manual processes? Is it the packing? Is it the picking? Is it the walking? What do you think are here the big cost factors that drive? Well, I'll give you the answer to that. So when you're in a warehouse, around 50% of the costs are from the pickers that they have to actually walk through the aisle, right? And the next point will be, I have to find a product. I have to pick it and put it somewhere. I have to walk back, put it in the box, and then send it. And then there's, of course, other work involved, like value-add service. You want to put a gift card, etc. And of course, we as an automation provider, we try to find as many possible solutions for it. And what we see here on one side next to the walking process is Carry Pick, Cyclone Carrier Auto Store. These are different goods-to-person solutions. So we say, instead of me walking there, a technology, a robot will bring something to me, so I don't need to have this manual process. We're going to go and look into that a bit more in detail. And then on the pick and put side, there you see some robots. That's the new evolution, I would say. So instead of a human has to do the picking process, which is very cumbersome and boring, you have robots doing that. So the small one, we call it item pick. That's basically a gripper that can pick single pieces from a bin. So replacing a lot of manual work. It's a lightweight robot, and it has sensors on it, so it can work with a human together. So you don't need to fence it off. It's not going to hurt the human. So as you approach the robot, it gets slower. If you go away, it gets faster. And then the big brother, we call it AC Pack. That's the orange big robot. This is more for retail business. He has 4 fingers, so not only one, and he basically automatically palletizes different kinds of cases onto a pallet for shop delivery. So that's the new evolution, and that's what we do together with our mother company, KUKA here. And then if we look at a warehouse in total, of course, this is what we like to sell, a warehouse full of automation. Nevertheless, we always know in e-commerce, there's a lot of manual operation, and there's always going to be, because humans are very smart with their hands. Nevertheless, this is just basically an overview of what is here for retail and e-commerce customers. And maybe it's not only always the fancy robots, it's basic stuff you're looking at. So you're looking at the pallet warehouse, where you don't want people to carry around pallets or cases. So you have a high bay warehouse that goes up to 40 meters, and you have a crane running into the aisle, picking out an entire pallet, bringing it to the person. Then you maybe have something more in a high-speed e-commerce environment, a shuttle that basically takes us different cases and brings it to a person. It has to be very fast. And then you look at the auto store, already done here in the Middle East, by the way. It's a high-density solution. So when you need to save space, or you have an old existing building, and you need to bring in a very smart technology that can adapt to the circumstances, auto store for storage and picking is a very interesting solution as such. And then if you look a bit more into the red lines, that's what I'm going to show you afterwards. This is a small and the big brother. I explained to you before. These are the robotic solution. You also have something called a Carry Pick. You may have heard of Amazon, and that they bought a company called Kiva. Kiva is a automated guided vehicle solution. So you have robots that travel on the ground, and they bring entire racks to you. And so Swisslog, we also have a solution similar to that. And you see that also on the video afterwards. And then, of course, you always need the software, the intelligence inside the warehouse that orchestrates all the different robots that they work together. And this is obviously a key as well. Well, here you see some of it, the more forward-looking technologies, what we have in the market. I told you about the small robot. That's what you see here. We call it item pick. Specifically interesting in e-commerce. It's a robot that can pick up to 600 items per hour. So it's even faster than a human. And obviously it works 24/7. So when you as a human go home and go sleep, the robot can already prepare the orders for the next day, second, third shift. And very interesting as well, in e-commerce specifically, you may need the robot today here, and tomorrow, on a year's time, you need it somewhere else. You can just take it out, it's movable, and use it somewhere else. Because in e-commerce, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next year. So we also try to cater to those needs. The carry pick I mentioned before, it's a very simple solution. You just have these automated guided vehicles, robots, racks you need to put up, and then you have some barcode stickers that you stick on the ground, and up and running, you can actually install such a system within like a few months' time. So it's no difficult like grids that you have to drill into the ground and you don't know how to use it afterwards anymore. It's a very simple solution. You can put it in a truck and move it to another location in a year's time. And then the big brother we talked about also obviously performs 24/7 and builds automatically a complete pallet for retail shop deliveries. And for this you need in the background, you see it right now, a shuttle system that will sequence different kinds of bin in the right order to the robot, so the robot gets never bored, because you want to maximize the usage of such robots. And then the question is, how is the future going to look like? And we also at Swisslog, we really try to understand how is the market moving in the future, how are urban cities developing, what does it mean for automation, where can we add value, and so how is the warehouse in the future going to look like? And therefore I would like to show you a quick movie to also inspire you. So you may think about the self-learning warehouse of the future. Because of weather situations, algorithms talk to each other and say, today we have to sell 1.2 million of ice creams in Dubai City, for instance. And this self-learning warehouse will already predict it. So they will already get the ice creams ready in the shelves for next day delivery. And then you can ask yourself, how is the warehouse going to look like? Will it be in the sky? Will it be underwater? Amazon is very interesting, by the way. They file for a lot of patents for different ideas. You have talk about flying warehouses, underwater warehouses. Here we put it on a skyscraper, and you basically have ships that basically deliver the goods to the final persons. And then you basically have flying robots that do all the picking, a fully automated process. And whether this is going to be the future, we don't know, but we really have to think that way, because our customers are changing fast, specifically in e-commerce and retail. Just quickly for our company, we belong to this group of KUKA. I mentioned that before. KUKA is one of the largest robot manufacturers in the world. We got acquired about 3 years ago, and they're very strong in automotive. But obviously, they don't want to be too dependent on automotive. They also want to expand into consumer goods, electronics, e-commerce, and that's where we play in as a company called Swisslog, based in Switzerland. And we see more and more of these robotics applications in e-commerce and retail specifically, because back in Europe, we already, I would say, advanced in the sense that we use a lot of goods-to-person solution, but the next wave is robotics. And they are very flexible, and they are also scalable and movable, and that's what our customers tell us. These are our requirements. Please help us to automate further, because we can't hire another 1,000 people. It's difficult to find people that also want to do this work. And so therefore, we really can build very good synergies with our mother company. And then, of course, in healthcare, we also have some automated solution to make life easier within a hospital or in a pharmacy. Looking at where we are based, again, we are a Swiss-based company. Headquarters of the mother is in Germany. And we've been in the region here for a couple of years already. And we have some interesting references here around. Axiom Telecom, obviously a well-known name here in the region. And then you look at Mai Dubai, Al Marai, and the Central Bank of Kuwait that all look for more efficient processes within the warehouse. And that's when we come into play, and also happy to help you on this journey. These are some of the references we have globally. We have a strong focus, again, on e-com retail. That's what I represent the business at Swisslog, and food and beverage and pharmaceuticals, and obviously also other businesses like banking. With that, I'm at the end of our presentation. I would like to thank you for attention. And again, I think e-commerce and retail undergoes fundamental changes. And we really talk more and more about flexibility, scalability. I don't know how the future is going to look like. Bring something into my logistics processes that can improve my efficiency while still keeping flexible. And that's a challenge to us, but that's what we are here for. So if there's any questions, please come and visit us at the booth or just after this presentation. Thank you.